Welcome to Naturally Inspired Radio, where we expose what's broken in the healthcare system, connect you to real health solutions, and inspire you to take back control of your life. We want to help you feel empowered, informed, and free to live naturally without fear, confusion, or dependency. Download our latest book on real solutions for health at naturallyinspiredradio.com. Naturally Inspired Radio is a nationally syndicated show broadcast on over 100 radio stations, online platforms, video channels, and podcast feeds. Follow us on your favorite platform today, hit that like button, leave a comment, and engage in our special live stream chats, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com to learn more, register for our weekly giveaway, and explore past episodes. You can also connect directly with Tammy, follow her on all major social media platforms, and discover more about our featured guests and trusted radio partners. Are you looking for better health? Work with Tammy today and take the first step toward a healthier, more empowered lifestyle. Schedule your complimentary 30-minute lifestyle assessment to explore personalized guidance on nutrition, movement, toxin-free living, and natural beauty without pharma. Get started now and discover Tammy's preferred health products at naturallyinspiredstore.com or text Tammy directly 720-303-8868. Love the show and want to support the movement? Head over to naturallyinspiredradio.com and click on the support tab. There you'll find all the ways you can get involved. Join our Naturally Inspired community, become a preferred customer, attend one of our amazing live events, get your backstage pass for exclusive access, and connect to all things naturally inspired. Thank you for tuning in today. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Did you know that a single collagen supplement could support your heart health, help protect against EMF exposure, and reduce inflammation all at the same time? Our preferred foundational collagen not only supports radiant skin and joint mobility, but also promotes heart health, reduces inflammation, strengthens hair and nails, provides added protection against the effects of EMF exposure, and so much more. Our favorite collagen is super absorbable and easy to take. Just 1 tablespoon in the morning and another in the evening for maximum benefits. Here's what our listeners have to say.
This collagen is so easy to take, I've noticed a huge difference in my hair and nails after just a few weeks.
Since I started using Tammy's preferred collagen, my joints feel more flexible and my skin looks smoother.
Try it today at naturallyinspiredradio.com/collagen. When you purchase from Naturally Inspired, you get access to our group health coaching call and so much more. Go to naturallyinspiredradio.com/collagen.
Are you ready to stay informed and inspired 24/7? Tune in to Naturally Inspired Radio anytime, anywhere. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com, or for the best mobile experience, download the Simple Radio app. Search for Naturally Inspired Radio, save it to your favorites, and click on the graphic to listen instantly. Catch live broadcasts, revisit past shows, dive into long-form podcast conversations, and discover rare, censored presentations by leading health experts. Plus, explore documentaries uncovering the hidden truths of occult and esoteric history. Stay connected, stay inspired. Naturally Inspired Radio is always at your fingertips. Tune in now. For health questions or comments, text Tammy directly at 720-303-8868. naturallyinspiredradio.com.
The information and other content provided on this radio show or in any linked materials is provided for informational purposes only, not intended and should not be construed as medical advice. It is not a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment.
Welcome to your Tuesday edition of Naturally Inspired Radio. Do you ever just have one of those days where you just, things just kind of, it's like a domino effect. One thing gets off schedule, just one thing. And then the dominoes start to fall. That was my day today. It's like, oh, I have a schedule, tight schedule today. I have this meeting, this meeting, this meeting, this meeting. And just one of those meetings getting off, just down the line, everything just kind of gets affected by that. So you just feel like you're playing catch up all day. That's kind of what I feel like today. But I can finally take a breath because I'm here with you and we get to sit and visit and I get to share this most important message with you today. And so it's kind of like a break from everything else that is going on in my world. There's farm stuff going on. There's business stuff going on. There's meetings. There's this, there's that. But it's important not to lose sight that this is actually the most important work that I do. This work right here, the time set aside to deliver this message, to make sure people are getting connected to real solutions for health and understanding how to take back control of their own health. So we got a great show for you today. First of all, my lead topic today that I want to talk about is culture. And I'll tell you why when we get into it. But there's a lot that we are assuming in our culture. And I'll tell you why I started thinking about that and why I want to share it with you in a few minutes. I was listening to some clips from Tucker Carlson's latest podcast. Of course, there's been a big topic around land going on in the news cycle. And he had a great guy on talking about land, but also talking about his own personal struggles with pain pills. And so there was just something really profound there said during that conversation. And so I brought that here to share with you today because I wanted you to hear it. And then we're going to be talking about your brain pathways and that impact of technology on kids. And I have a completely hard to watch video for you, a clip. It's so hard, but so important to understand how technology is impacting our kids' brains. So we'll talk about that. Then I'm going to tell you about just the link between pharmaceutical companies and our doctors, our pediatricians specifically, and what that kind of incestuous relationship is like. You have somebody in your sphere or in your family, your friends, your realm that says, well, why would they do that? This is why. And so stay tuned because you're going to want to hear the incentives that happen in a medical practice. And then, of course, our health topic today, we have, I'm going to be talking about your knees because I think everybody can kind of relate to the fact, like, if you're a runner, like I'm a runner, I've been a runner for many, many years. And in the back of your mind as a runner, you're kind of always like, oh, I got to take care of my knees because Lord forbid if something happens to my knees, I'm out, right? And you hear everybody saying, oh, I got bad knees. I got to protect my knees, or I can't do this because of my knees. This is a storyline that we're all familiar with. And I think a lot of athletes carry that story around in their heads. And I wonder what impact that's having on us. So I'm going to bring to light some truths about your knees, what you can do to protect them, and what you can do if you're already dealing with knee issues. And then, of course, we have a naturally inspired moment today you're not going to want to miss. So let's get started. I want to talk about culture. And Jason and I had a few minutes last night, and we came across this. Usually we're busy in the evenings. It's rare during the week that we have time to sit and watch anything together during the week. But last night, it just so happened we were done for the day. And it's like, okay, let's just watch something. So we ended up finding this like weird documentary about cults, which, me, I love learning about cults. It's absolutely fascinating to me. I don't know, maybe I'm weird, but it's fascinating to me, the psychology of people, because as an outside, person looking in, you look at some of these cults and you're like, how? Well, like, how could, intelligent human being gets sucked into this. This is insane. But when you get inside the cult, you start to see how this method of capturing people and, getting them to buy into your belief system is put to use everywhere. It's everywhere, you guys. It's even in the word, right? The word culture, right? It's culture. It's cult. So I think, when we think of cult, we think of something very, negative and, ritualistic, evil even. Those are the types of images that come to mind when we think of the word cult. But really, we're all kind of, participating in cults every day. We don't really know why we do it. We do it because we've been programmed to do it. So I have a video that I want to share with you first off. And I think this is just a great place to start the conversation. And let's start there, because this is our culture. This is our culture. Take a listen to this.
Why do you think that moving out of your family's house is a psyop?
It is not just the act of moving out of your family's house, but consider this. If you have 10 members of a family, and they all scatter to the four winds, where they at least a half hour apart from each other, or more, 2 hours apart, states apart, and they will not see each other anymore, and they're going to pay 10 different sets of rent, 10 different sets of utilities, 10 different sets of groceries, 10 different sets of everything, then what are they going to do? They will live alone in these apartments or in these small structures. They will desperately crave connection with strangers. They will spend tons of money on escapist entertainment. The research actually shows the average American spends about 5 years of their life on escapist entertainment now, and that was before COVID. We need to actually update that information for after COVID now. But the average person, their depression is off the charts. They are crushingly lonely. Among millennials, for example, the research shows that up to 65% of them report overwhelming loneliness, and 35% of them report such incredible loneliness that they report feelings. So I know that this system is not working. I know that shoving people back into bad families is not the answer, but fixing families where they are truly loving and caring and nurturing, building better systems where the families can take care of each other and where there's accountability as well, so that families are governed with real love and care and nurturing, and then getting people reconnected so they're not financially struggling with 10 different sets of rent, but they can all pool their money, and then everybody has more money and more resources and less stress that way. Building that system back is exactly what we need, so that people can at least find some safety and security in this world, and then they can talk about the problems and they can.
Isn't that interesting? Just a different way of looking at it. So where did this idea come from? Where we need to scatter beans our families, and if your kids don't move out and get out on their own, well, then there's a stigma to that, right? There's like, well, what are your kids still doing, living? I've been dealing with that since I had a kid, 22 years ago. Well, you shouldn't be holding your baby too much. Oh, you shouldn't pick him up when he's crying. Oh, you shouldn't sleep in the bed with your baby. Oh, there's all these rules about how you should raise your kid, including when they get older. Why is your kid still living with you? What's going on there? It's, I just think everybody needs to go along their own path that best suits them. But we've allowed this culture to form, this culture of, strength and independence means you're on your own. You're out there on your own. You're able to fend for yourself. You're able to, take care of yourself, and you should be separated. But the problem is, there's a lot of unhappy young people in the world. That's the truth. We know that because they're showing up on psychiatrists' couches. They are expressing their unhappiness all over social media. They're even opting not to have children because they don't see hope in the world. So maybe it's time to take a look at that. Maybe it's time to realize our culture is not serving us. Stay tuned, everybody. This is Naturally Inspired Radio. I'm Tammy Cuthbert-Garcia, and we will be right back.
Did you know that a single collagen supplement could support your heart health, help protect against EMF exposure, and reduce inflammation all at the same time? Our preferred foundational collagen not only supports radiant skin and joint mobility, but also promotes heart health, reduces inflammation, strengthens hair and nails, provides added protection against the effects of EMF exposure, and so much more. Our favorite collagen is super absorbable and easy to take. Just 1 tablespoon in the morning and another in the evening for maximum benefits. Here's what our listeners have to say.
This collagen is so easy to take, I've noticed a huge difference in my hair and nails after just a few weeks.
Since I started using Tammy's preferred collagen, my joints feel more flexible and my skin looks smoother.
Try it today at naturallyinspiredradio.com/collagen. When you purchase from Naturally Inspired, you get access to our group health coaching call and so much more. Go to naturallyinspiredradio.com/collagen. Did you know that medicinal mushrooms are excellent for pets? Take our preferred pet health products for joint health, skin health, antioxidant protection, sow health, anti-aging benefits, gut health, liver support, cholesterol regulation, blood pressure support, brain health, anxiety relief, respiratory health, endurance and strength, anti-fatigue, and much more. Available in easy-to-take treats, great tasting gravy, and our pet food blends.
Since adding mushroom dog food to my dog's diet, I've noticed a huge improvement in his energy and coat health. He's like a puppy again, even at 10 years old.
After starting my care on mushroom super sauce, her immune health and digestion have noticeably improved. She's more playful, and her fur has never looked shinier.
Learn how to get free shipping and how to join our monthly mushroom call. Text Tammy with questions or to order at 720-303-8868. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com/mushroom. That's naturallyinspiredradio.com/mushroom.
Are you ready to stay informed and inspired 24/7? Tune in to Naturally Inspired Radio anytime, anywhere. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com, or for the best mobile experience, download the Simple Radio app. Search for Naturally Inspired Radio, save it to your favorites, and click on the graphic to listen instantly. Catch live broadcasts, revisit past shows, dive into long-form podcast conversations, and discover rare, censored presentations by leading health experts. Plus, explore documentaries uncovering the hidden truths of occult and esoteric history. Stay connected, stay inspired. Naturally Inspired Radio is always at your fingertips. Tune in now. For health questions or comments, text Tammy directly at 720-303-8868. naturallyinspiredradio.com.
Thanks so much for joining me today for Naturally Inspired Radio. So glad you're here. Top of the show here. We are talking about culture. How does culture get shaped? How does it get shaped? Because, especially in the conspiracy world, right? You hear things like, that's a psyop, that's a psyop, that's a psyop. Is it all a psyop, or is it like a group of people that have kind of decided to deploy and amplify a way of life to shape culture? I don't know. I mean, we're kind of debating semantics here, right? But I guess one kind of implies nefarious tendencies, right? Like you're doing it on purpose, like a maniacal, evil person that's doing it on purpose. And maybe they are. I don't know. I think it's kind of irrelevant. But I do think it's time to analyze our culture a little bit, because we are at a time where we're headed into the digital revolution. Kicking and screaming, this analog girl is. I don't want to go. I don't want to go to the digital realm, but it looks like everybody's going, whether we like it or not. So I think it's a great time to actually analyze our culture and start looking at what works and what might not be working. And Jason and I watched this, like I was saying, Jason and I watched this documentary last night. It's like bizarro cult called Mother of God, I believe. And it's just fascinating to see how, someone can influence other people to join just about anything. Just about anything. And it's just fascinating to me. There were threads, there were pearls of truth in what she was pitching to get people to join her. And there were little tiny nuggets of truth, little specks of truth. But of course it was fueled with drugs and alcohol and psychosis, I would say, because I believe she thought she was God, but she actually got and influenced other people to believe she was God as well. And that was, it's just fascinating. I think there's a lot to be learned here from cults, because this is how they use the same tactics. We use the same tactics in our society, like a small group of people wanting to usher out a particular way of life and get people to conform. Repetition is one of those things, right? It's a variable used to slowly condition people into a certain way of life. And it's totally fascinating. So I think it's a great time for us to kind of look at some of this culture. And in particular, that video, the clip we just played, it's like, yeah, why are we sending our kids away from us all the time? We are living in a culture where we say, most people do, our greatest resource, our greatest, gift is our youth. It's our children. Yet when you have a baby, culture kind of pressures you like 6 weeks, get back to work. Drop that baby off at daycare. You better get that baby sleeping in a crib. You better do this. You better do that. Oh, they're not walking yet. Oh, like there's this real movement to put separation between you and your kid. I felt it when my kids were little. I can, little comments here. I carried my daughter for a very long time. I mean, she was just like a fixture on my hip. People used to say, are you ever going to put that kid down? Are you ever going to put that kid down? And I'd be like, maybe not. Maybe not. But guess what? She did learn to walk. Yeah. Now she's 19. I can't carry her. Do I regret carrying her longer? Do I regret that? I don't. And I think back to when people would say, oh, you shouldn't let your son sleep in your bed. At the time, Jason was working nights. So he was gone all night long. And so, it was easier for me to be able to nurse and take care of that baby when he was in my bed. And but there was a lot of just outside voices, like, hey, you shouldn't be sleeping in your bed. You should be sleeping in the crib. Got to do that. Got to do that. And it was the culture that was pushing that. That was completely ridiculous type of plan for me to continue to get up all night long and put him back and try to get him to settle in the crib when we could just both lay in the bed and fall asleep safely. Right? But it's the culture. And so I use those as examples because I think we're at a really good time to start kind of assessing some of this stuff. And sending your kids away or expecting that they need to get out of your house immediately is one of those things. Because we have, like I said, a sick young population, a scared young population, a young population that's, not wanting to have their own kids because I think the pressure of bringing a kid into the world, not only having to provide for themselves with this, expensive way of life, but then having to provide for someone else is daunting. if I know that, like back in the day, we had elders that helped us raise our kids. We had more community. Even, when I was growing up, you didn't have to, provide entertainment for your kid all day long if they were home. They simply went outside and played with the other neighborhood kids. That was their entertainment. And so a lot of those things have changed. The culture has changed. And I'm questioning whether this is really healthy for us, or if our resources would be better if we stuck together a little bit more. If we created, of course I'm not promoting dependency. We do have that element of our youth that's, stuck to mom and dad and can't really operate on their own and, spoiled and all that stuff. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about like a healthy support system that's mutual, win-win for both, parent, older child, even, grandparent, elderly people, because it happens that way as well. You see a lot of people who are taking care of their elderly parents, and you can clearly, it's a burden. They're going back and forth to old age homes. They're going back and forth to different homes to try to help in both places. Like everybody's spread too thin. And yet we still think that this is the way we should do things. It's kind of odd. We need to get to, I said the other day, and I'm going to keep saying it because I think it perfectly describes me, is I'm a root cause absolutist. Let's get to the root cause here. We shouldn't cater. A lot of people would say, oh, well, there's a lot of abuse in families. And why would we want children, to stay at home and suffer that abuse? And, I am tired of structuring everything in our culture around the worst people in it. Like everything, you go to an airport, you're completely shaken down and treated like a criminal, right? Because somebody might be a criminal. So we're treated like that automatically when the reality is most people actually aren't criminals. And that's just like kind of a very stark example there. I understand the safety of an airport and all that. It only takes one bomber. I get it, right? But do you see what I'm saying here? Like in our schools, we are applying that. We kind of cater to the worst people. We have to cater. Oh, we have to put in these systems because of the worst people that will do the bad things. And I think that's, even from a parenting standpoint, that's the worst way to operate. That's the worst way to operate with your kids, when you are constantly harping on the negative things. That's not building your kid up. Good luck with that. We need to come to it with a strategy of like building up the good stuff and saying, and minimizing the negative stuff, not giving so much attention to the negative stuff, but giving more attention to the positive stuff. You'll get more positive stuff when you do that. If you pay all your focus, all your attention on the negative stuff, well, you're going to get more negative stuff. It's just the rules of the world. But yet we continue to do that, to cater to the worst people in our society. Stay tuned, everybody. This is Naturally Inspired Radio. We'll be right back. I've got your news stories for you. You're not going to want to miss it.
Did you know that a single collagen supplement could support your heart health, help protect against EMF exposure, and reduce inflammation all at the same time? Our preferred foundational collagen not only supports radiant skin and joint mobility, but also promotes heart health, reduces inflammation, strengthens hair and nails, provides added protection against the effects of EMF exposure, and so much more. Our favorite collagen is super absorbable and easy to take. Just 1 tablespoon in the morning and another in the evening for maximum benefits. Here's what our listeners have to say.
This collagen is so easy to take, I've noticed a huge difference in my hair and nails after just a few weeks.
Since I started using Tammy's preferred collagen, my joints feel more flexible and my skin looks smoother.
Try it today at naturallyinspiredradio.com/collagen. When you purchase from Naturally Inspired, you get access to our group health coaching call and so much more. Go to naturallyinspiredradio.com/collagen. Did you know that medicinal mushrooms are excellent for pets? Take our preferred pet health products for joint health, skin health, antioxidant protection, sow health, anti-aging benefits, gut health, liver support, cholesterol regulation, blood pressure support, brain health, anxiety relief, respiratory health, endurance and strength, anti-fatigue, and much more. Available in easy-to-take treats, great tasting gravy, and our pet food blends.
Since adding mushroom dog food to my dog's diet, I've noticed a huge improvement in his energy and coat health. He's like a puppy again, even at 10 years old.
After starting my care on mushroom super sauce, her immune health and digestion have noticeably improved. She's more playful, and her fur has never looked shinier.
Learn how to get free shipping and how to join our monthly mushroom call. Text Tammy with questions or to order at 720-303-8868. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com/mushroom. That's naturallyinspiredradio.com/mushroom.
Are you ready to stay informed and inspired 24/7? Tune in to Naturally Inspired Radio anytime, anywhere. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com, or for the best mobile experience, download the Simple Radio app. Search for Naturally Inspired Radio, save it to your favorites, and click on the graphic to listen instantly. Catch live broadcasts, revisit past shows, dive into long-form podcast conversations, and discover rare, censored presentations by leading health experts. Plus, explore documentaries uncovering the hidden truths of occult and esoteric history. Stay connected, stay inspired. Naturally Inspired Radio is always at your fingertips. Tune in now. For health questions or comments, text Tammy directly at 720-303-8868. naturallyinspiredradio.com.
I'm so excited to get a lot of your feedback, a lot of your texts regarding the cellular reset. I've been talking about the cellular reset now for a few months. It is a great way to help your body replace damaged cells. If, your body replaces billions of cells actually every day. But if those new cells are built on a poor foundation and they're loaded with toxins, or they have oxidative stress or inflammation, your health really doesn't improve, right? Because it's dealing with this burden. And that's why the cellular reset is working for people. It's not a cleanse. It's not a fast. It's a strategic reboot at the cellular level that helps your body reset, repair, and rebuild. I've got mine here with me today, every day at 3:00. I look forward to it. It's a teaspoon of the cellular reset in some soda water, a couple ice cubes. Sometimes I throw in some blueberries or some raspberries. It's a mocktail, and it's part of my, daily routine. And I look forward to it. And I know I'm doing something positive for my body. So many different things now that people have texted in about. I just want to go through them briefly. Chronic yeast infections. Went to providers. Nobody had the answers. And apparently the cellular reset worked. Isn't that amazing? I've heard the same thing about urinary tract infection. I've had people tell me that inflammation in their ankles has resolved. All kinds of things now. And it's a powerful polyphenol in the cellular reset. And it's just, I don't know. It is working for people. So if it sounds like something you'd like to try, go to naturallyinspiredstore.com and just click on the cellular reset, or you can text me rather, 720-303-8868. I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have. It sells out. Here are the things I don't know what else to say. It sells out all the time. It works for people, and it's helping people. It's a real solution for health. So what have you got to lose? Because right now, too, for the next 3 days, we have free shipping on it. Free shipping. So if you've been thinking about it, I know there's a few of you on the fence, that are thinking, I don't know, should I try that? I don't want to try another thing. If it doesn't work, then what? Here's what, if it doesn't work, you get a money back guarantee. That's part of the reason why I partnered with this awesome company, is because they have a lifetime money back guarantee. And there's free shipping right now. So you don't have anything to lose. So try it today. Go to naturallyinspiredstore.com or text me 720-303-8868. Happy to send you a direct link or answer any questions that you might have. What are the things in our society that are assumed? We're talking about culture. I think there's a lot of things that we are doing just for the sake of doing them. And I think COVID exposed that to a large degree, right? Because, white coat, do what the experts say. A lot of people just went along just went along with everything because, again, there's an unconscious factor in the way our society is run today. You don't even really think about it, unconscious. The best way I can kind of explain being unconscious is just like, everybody can relate to driving home from somewhere, right? If you go to work every day, you drive home every day. Sometimes you just land at home and you're like, how did I even get here? I don't even remember, going through that stoplight or turning left or turning right. I just I'm home. That's going unconscious. It's that just repetitiveness of life that just kind of gets assumed in your daily lifestyle. And I think we're assuming a lot of things these days that aren't necessarily working out to our benefit anymore, or maybe ever did. So what are some of the things in our society that are assumed? Well, public education. I remember when I made the decision to pull my kids out and homeschool, a lot of people, first of all, my kids were going to a charter school, and it was a great school when they started. It was very family oriented. It was very much open doors. It was very much volunteer based. All the parents, you knew everybody because they had to volunteer. And that structure worked really well until that particular administrator left and a school district type of administrator moved in. Boy, changed the whole culture of the school. He changed the whole culture of the school. It felt like it changed overnight. It was that dramatic. And when I tried to advocate for the kids, and I tried to advocate for the parents even, to try to bring back some of the old culture and, express what we really wanted out of our school. And that was not well received, let me tell you. That was not well received. But what I found is that people were very reluctant to leave the school, even though they weren't getting what they wanted out of the school. The fear of doing something different was greater than putting up with the infrastructure that they weren't happy with. That was a great lesson for me, going through that process of trying to advocate. I didn't hold the fear because I knew that, hey man, if this thing goes downhill and I can't get what I want, I'm going to homeschool. I'd like for my kids to continue on in this school if it can provide them what I want for them. But if it can't, then we're out. I didn't have a fear about it, but many other people did. And so I did. I pulled my kids because they were unreasonable. They were driving forward with a district model, and there was no room for what used to be. And so all the people that stayed, they got stuck with that model, even though they didn't like it. They got stuck with it because they were too afraid to leave. They were too afraid to do something different. I did something different, and thank you, Lord, that I did, because it turned out great. I got great results. with what we decided to do for schooling. But public education has turned into a cult. If you cross it, let me tell you, if you cross it, it's a mafia. They will try to, soil your name. They will turn you into the enemy for even asking a question. And we saw that during COVID, didn't we? Because we saw parents getting kicked out of school board meetings for what anybody with 2 brain cells so that they could rub together to think would think that was absurd, right? I mean, we're talking about pornography in children's young adult books. I mean, it was insane. All these parents were doing were stepping up and pointing out the obvious. This is weird. This shouldn't be in here. This is weird. And no, the mafia, the cult pressed back. How dare you? You're a bigot. You're a Nazi. And parents were arrested. You got to take a look at that, right? A lot of things that are just assumed. But did every parent pull their kid out of school? No. No, they kept taking them back there because they were locked into the culture of the school. Sure, there's a lot of excuses there, right? I got to work. I got to go here. I got to go. But the truth is, you did have a choice. You do have a choice, and you did have a choice. You just didn't like the choices. So it's important that we identify these things. The next thing that I think is kind of an assumed way, a culture that has formed, is, of course, the medical system. You don't question your doctor. When you're sick, you go to the doctor, you get a pill, you get a procedure, and that's your fix. But it's not. It's not a fix. It's at best a Band-Aid that leads to consequences. And for the most part, negative consequences. Right? So what do I mean? Well, if you've got pain and they gave you pain pills, sure, it stops your pain, but it also leads to some pretty horrific consequences. I mean, a lot of people get addicted to opioids. They stop your body from being able to eliminate. It often blocks your detox pathways. It numbs your thinking. Like, there's a lot of side effects there, right? But we accept it because that's the culture. The culture is you trust the medical paradigm, even when it doesn't bring you the results that you want. Another one is politics. Got to pick a side. See what I'm saying? I think it's time to start evaluating some of this stuff and discerning what it really means for us and how it's impacting us. You're listening to Naturally Inspired Radio. I'm Tammy Cuthbert-Garcia, and next we have our Naturally Inspired Moment.
Did you know that a single collagen supplement could support your heart health, help protect against EMF exposure, and reduce inflammation all at the same time? Our preferred foundational collagen not only supports radiant skin and joint mobility, but also promotes heart health, reduces inflammation, strengthens hair and nails, provides added protection against the effects of EMF exposure, and so much more. Our favorite collagen is super absorbable and easy to take. Just 1 tablespoon in the morning and another in the evening for maximum benefits. Here's what our listeners have to say.
This collagen is so easy to take, I've noticed a huge difference in my hair and nails after just a few weeks.
Since I started using Tammy's preferred collagen, my joints feel more flexible and my skin looks smoother.
Try it today at naturalinspiredradio.com/collagen. When you purchase from Naturally Inspired, you get access to our group health coaching call and so much more. Go to naturalinspiredradio.com/collagen. Did you know that medicinal mushrooms are excellent for pets? Take our preferred pet health products for joint health, skin health, antioxidant protection, sow health, anti-aging benefits, gut health, liver support, cholesterol regulation, blood pressure support, brain health, anxiety relief, respiratory health, endurance and strength, anti-fatigue, and much more. Available in easy-to-take treats, great-tasting gravy, and our pet food blends.
Since adding mushroom dog food to my dog's diet, I've noticed a huge improvement in his energy and coat health. He's like a puppy again, even at 10 years old.
After starting my care on mushroom super sauce, her immune health and digestion have noticeably improved. She's more playful, and her fur has never looked shinier.
Learn how to get free shipping and how to join our monthly mushroom call. Text Tammy with questions or to order at 720-303-8868. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com/mushroom. That's naturallyinspiredradio.com/mushroom.
Are you ready to stay informed and inspired 24/7? Tune in to Naturally Inspired Radio anytime, anywhere. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com, or for the best mobile experience, download the Simple Radio app. Search for Naturally Inspired Radio, save it to your favorites, and click on the graphic to listen instantly. Catch live broadcasts, revisit past shows, dive into long-form podcast conversations, and discover rare, censored presentations by leading health experts. Plus, explore documentaries uncovering the hidden truths of occult and esoteric history. Stay connected, stay inspired. Naturally Inspired Radio is always at your fingertips. Tune in now. For health questions or comments, text Tammy directly at 720-303-8868. naturallyinspiredradio.com.
Welcome back. You're listening to Naturally Inspired Radio. We're going to head straight into our Naturally Inspired moment today. Such an important topic. I'm just kind of fixated on getting to the root cause of things these days. You know, why mess around trying to fix all these things, so to speak, on the surface? Just kind of, piecing it together or trying to hold it together when you can just get to the root problem. I know I get accused of being direct a lot, but seriously, what are we wasting time for? Just get down to the root of the problem. It's okay. We already know you're not perfect. I'm not perfect. Nobody's perfect. But yet we're very hesitant to really dig in and get to the root cause of the issues that we have that are keeping us from the results that we want. I for one can't stand it. I can't stand watching people struggle unnecessarily. You watch people do things over again and you go, what are you doing? It's easy as an outsider. We can't do it for ourselves. I mean, I wish I could do it for myself. I'm a human too. I do the same thing. I can't see the things that I'm doing as easily as I can see things in other people. But we have this blockage of being able to help guide each other too, right? It's offensive to tell somebody the truth. How are they ever going to get better? If nobody's honest with them, listen, I told my kids years ago, I ain't going to lie to you. If you suck at something, and you can ask my kids, because you know what? Them being good at something has it's not a condition of me loving them. And they know it. They know it. My love for them is not conditional. So therefore, when they suck at something, we can laugh at it together and be like, yeah, just the other day, my daughter's not that sports athletic. She doesn't like throwing balls and catching balls. She's very girly. I know I don't know whose kid she is, but clearly not mine. It's weird because she's just not that way. She's very, very girly. And we were at a picnic and she was throwing a ball and I just said to her, "Oh my gosh, you throw like such a girl. It is bizarre." And did she crumble and cry? No. She laughed. "I know," she said. "Here, is this better?" And she throws again. No. No, it wasn't better. It wasn't better. So I think getting our kids used to that kind of stuff, that's life, because then we can actually accept feedback that helps us. But if we are not used to getting feedback that helps us, we take it as an offense. And truly, maybe there are bullies out there and people that are not nice that are telling you things to hurt you, for sure. But I think there are more people out there that are trying to communicate with you maybe what's going on because they truly don't want to see you struggle. They care for you. They care for you. And if we could just kind of put that lens on every day and think, the people who are giving me feedback actually care for me, then we wouldn't get so defensive, to be able to take, cues from other people and apply them and honestly laugh at ourselves a little bit too about how we're not perfect, because nobody is. So today's topic is about healing the root, how your external world is a reflection of your internal world. And here's the perfect example that happened this morning. And my daughter won't care. But she couldn't find her keys. We've got her car up for sale because she's moving and all this stuff. And we need her keys. And she had kind of a, just not the greatest morning. It was hectic, kind of like, just a little hectic. And so she was kind of in that energy space of being hectic, nothing's working out here kind of thing. And I recognized that right away. She's looking for the key. I can't find my key. I can't find the key. And I can see the emotion starting to build up in her. And so I grabbed her purse and I just said, listen, that frustration that you're holding on to right now is the reason why you can't find your key. And she's like, well, I know I put it in my purse. Like, I remember thinking I'm putting it here because I cannot lose this. And I said, so it's in your purse. Give me your purse. And I opened up her purse and I looked through her purse and I didn't see it right away. But she had this little journal in her purse. I pulled out the journal. Boom, the key falls out. So it was in there. And then she's, big sigh of relief. And I said, listen, the key was there the whole time, right? It was your state that you were in that was keeping you from being able to find it. And I thought, oh, that's such a perfect message to share today for the Naturally Inspired Moment, because our external world is a reflection of the internal world. So here are some tips, some things, 5 strategies that you can apply to make sure that this isn't happening to you. 1, pause and observe without judgment. Why it matters? Because we often live on autopilot, unaware that chaos and tension around us is a mirror of what's happening inside us. Our outer environment, from cluttered spaces to strained relationships, is often a reflection of our internal dialogue. So our thoughts are formed from a young age, and we absorb energy and beliefs from our environment, especially our parents, our caregivers, and our early experiences. If we were raised in stress, we may unconsciously create stress around us just so we can feel normal. Who can relate to that? So here's what you do about it. You take 5 quiet minutes every day and you sit in your space that's organized, and you make yourself observe. You make yourself slow down. So you observe what's in the room, right? What's not working around you? How does this reflect in your inner state? And just notice it without judgment. You don't have to judge it. Awareness is the beginning of your transformation, right? Getting to a point where you can actually laugh at some of the things, the patterns that you've been carrying around with you. I've been carrying around with me for years. Sometimes I go, oh my gosh, I can't believe that I'm doing that. That's how you should take it. And if you don't take it that way, it's a good sign that there's pain there. There's pain there, and it needs to be released, and it needs to be integrated into you, and you need to be able to accept it, Track your emotional thoughts and patterns. Very important. Your emotions leave clues behind. Persistent anxiety, resentment, or exhaustion often stem from subconscious beliefs like, I'm not safe, or I'm not enough here, or I have to do everything myself. And those thoughts get formed in childhood when your brain is in a theta wave state, because that's where you're highly suggestible and emotional. Repetitive messages, don't cry, be quiet, you're too sensitive, you're overdramatic. These things can wire your brain, and they suppress or even distort your emotional truth. So what do you do about it? Keep a daily journal for your emotional triggers. After a few days, you'll see a pattern. Trust me, you will. What story am I telling myself every day? When did I first feel this way? Just shining a light on the origin of the pattern gives you the power to start rewiring it. Examine your language and your internal dialogue. This is important because disorganization reflects mental overwhelm. So the words that you say to yourself become the lens through which you see your life. If your inner voice is critical and fearful or rushed all the time, your external life is going to feel the same. We model the language we heard growing up. So if our caregivers were worriers, constantly worried, or if they criticized often, or if they made love conditional, meaning you have to be good girl or you have to be good, and then you get rewarded or you get attention, we may internalize those scripts as our own. So start tracking your self-talk, especially in moments of stress. I'm never going to get this right. Instead of saying that, say, I'm growing again. I'll learn it. Just takes time. Clear and rearrange your physical space with intention. This matters because your space holds energetic imprint, and clutter represents stuck emotion. Use your relationships as reflective tools. Why it matters? The people in our lives often reflect back to us the parts of ourselves we haven't healed. Very important strategies. Don't forget, your external world reflects your internal world. We'll be right back.
Are you ready to stay informed and inspired 24/7? Tune in to Naturally Inspired Radio anytime, anywhere. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com, or for the best mobile experience, download the Simple Radio app. Search for Naturally Inspired Radio, save it to your favorites, and click on the graphic to listen instantly. Catch live broadcasts, revisit past shows, dive into long-form podcast conversations, and discover rare, censored presentations by leading health experts. Plus, explore documentaries uncovering the hidden truths of occult and esoteric history. Stay connected, stay inspired. Naturally Inspired Radio is always at your fingertips. Tune in now. For health questions or comments, text Tammy directly at 720-303-8868. naturallyinspiredradio.com.
Nearly 40% of Americans struggle with a $400 emergency expense. An extra $300 a month can be the difference between stability and financial stress.
Are you feeling the pinch of rising expenses? Imagine what an extra $300, $500, or even $1,000 a month can do for you. Introducing a simple 3-step system designed to help you create a steady income without the overwhelm. Step 1, follow our easy-to-use plan. Step 2, take small, consistent actions. Step 3, stay motivated with weekly coaching designed to keep you on track and moving forward. Whether you're saving for a family vacation, paying down debt, or just looking for breathing room, this system is for you. You don't need special skills, just the desire to make change. Join a growing community of success stories today. Visit simpleincome.info or text 720-764-7448.
A Welcome to Naturally Inspired Radio, where we expose what's broken in the healthcare system, connect you to real health solutions, and inspire you to take back control of your life. We want to help you feel empowered, informed, and free to live naturally without fear, confusion, or dependency. Download our latest book on real solutions for health at naturallyinspiredradio.com. Naturally Inspired Radio is a nationally syndicated show broadcast on over 100 radio stations, online platforms, video channels, and podcast feeds. Follow us on your favorite platform today, hit that like button, leave a comment, and engage in our special live stream chats, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com to learn more, register for our weekly giveaway, and explore past episodes. You can also connect directly with Tammy, follow her on all major social media platforms, and discover more about our featured guests and trusted radio partners. Are you looking for better health? Work with Tammy today and take the first step toward a healthier, more empowered lifestyle. Schedule your complimentary 30-minute lifestyle assessment to explore personalized guidance on nutrition, movement, toxin-free living, and natural beauty without pharma. Get started now and discover Tammy's preferred health products at naturallyinspiredstore.com or text Tammy directly 720-303-8868. Love the show and want to support the movement? Head over to naturallyinspiredradio.com and click on the support tab. There you'll find all the ways you can get involved. Join our Naturally Inspired community, become a preferred customer, attend one of our amazing live events, get your backstage pass for exclusive access, and connect to all things naturally inspired. Thank you for tuning in today. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Did you know that a single collagen supplement could support your heart health, help protect against EMF exposure, and reduce inflammation all at the same time? Our preferred foundational collagen not only supports radiant skin and joint mobility, but also promotes heart health, reduces inflammation, strengthens hair and nails, provides added protection against the effects of EMF exposure, and so much more. Our favorite collagen is super absorbable and easy to take. Just 1 tablespoon in the morning and another in the evening for maximum benefits. Here's what our listeners have to say.
This collagen is so easy to take, I've noticed a huge difference in my hair and nails after just a few weeks.
Since I started using Tammy's preferred collagen, my joints feel more flexible and my skin looks smoother.
Try it today at naturallyinspiredradio.com/collagen. When you purchase from Naturally Inspired, you get access to our group health coaching call and so much more. Go to naturallyinspiredradio.com/collagen.
Are you ready to stay informed and inspired 24/7? Tune in to Naturally Inspired Radio anytime, anywhere. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com, or for the best mobile experience, download the simple radio app. Search for Naturally Inspired Radio, save it to your favorites, and click on the graphic to listen instantly. Catch live broadcasts, revisit past shows, dive into long-form podcast conversations, and discover rare, censored presentations by leading health experts. Plus, explore documentaries uncovering the hidden truths of occult and esoteric history. Stay connected, stay inspired. Naturally Inspired Radio is always at your fingertips. Tune in now. For health questions or comments, text Tammy directly at 720-303-8868. naturallyinspiredradio.com.
The information and other content provided on this radio show or in any linked materials is provided for informational purposes only, not intended and should not be construed as medical advice. It is not a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment.
welcome back. This is hour 2 of Naturally Inspired Our Radio. We've been talking about culture. We've been talking about cults. We've been talking, of course, about recognizing how our external world is a reflection of our internal world, which I think was very valuable. But I did have some thoughts during the break here into the second hour about cults, because I'm telling you, it's fascinating to me. I think if we understand human patterns, we can better understand each other. And then we don't have to be so enraged by each other. If we can just understand, it doesn't mean we'll agree, but we can at least understand how they got there or you got there, you know? And I think that's really important. I think that's why I'm always asking questions about stuff. It's like this whole cult documentary that Jason and I were watching last night. We're like, whoa, like as an outsider, you're like, that's insane. That's totally insane. But when they break it down, you're like, oh, see, they were using repetition. So here's some interesting stuff for you. Here's a few markers of a cult, okay? And I think when I read these, you'll be like, oh, boy, am I in a cult? No, just kidding. So number 1, there has to be a charismatic authoritarian leader. Number 2, excessive leadership, very directive leadership. 3, claims of exclusive or absolute truth. A very us versus them worldview. Isolation from outside influences. Information control. Censorship. Behavioral control. Rules for governing your daily life. Thought reform, indoctrination tactics. Oh, I think they call that re-education, right? Emotional manipulation and guilt. Fear or phobia, indoctrination about leaving. What will happen to you? What will happen to you if you don't do this? Demand for absolute obedience and loyalty. Suppression of dissent. Punishment for questioning. We see that. We've seen that. Don't you just look back on COVID and go, oh my gosh, it was a cult. That's why I called it out as a cult in the beginning. And then everybody, all the censorship kicked in. It's like, you're crazy. You're calling it a cult. Because it was. It had all the markers, right? They had a charismatic authoritarian leader. What was Fauci? We had excessive micromanaging leadership. Don't do this. Don't do that. We had claims of exclusive or absolute truth. We are the science. I am the science. We had an us versus them worldview. The vaccinated versus the unvaccinated. Isolation from outside influences. If you have family members that you want to come over to your house for Thanksgiving, do not invite them. I think it was Jennifer Aniston that said, you're not welcome at my house if you haven't taken the vaccine. And many other celebrities, right? Information control, censorship, right? All of these things, you go down the list. You go down financial exploitation. If you don't take this, you can't get paid. Confession or public shaming rituals. Did you get screamed at in any stores? I did. Rigid hierarchy and centralized authority. Demand for purity, but not just COVID. Like, start thinking about some of these political groups as well. Because I tell you, I don't fit into the Republican Party. And I certainly don't fit into the Democratic Party. Like, I don't know where I'm at these days. I want freedom. That's what I want. I want freedom for everybody. I want to do no harm, to people. Where's that party? Because all I see is a lot of manipulation, right? And a lot of these cult-like tactics. Why do they use them? Because they work. They stop working when you understand that they're weaponized against you. when you can point them out, when you can go down a list like this and you go, oh my gosh, that's crazy. Oh my gosh, look at that. Complete control. Shunning or cutting off of ex-members. You didn't get vaccinated? What? You only got one shot? How come you didn't get the booster? And there's always a apocalyptic destiny or special mission. We have to stop the spread. I laugh at this stuff now because it's like, we're so ridiculous as human beings, we're kind of ridiculous. Magical, awesome. It's a marvel. The biology of the human being is a marvel, but our behavior sometimes is pretty hilarious. We adhere to all of these ways of life, all this culture, even though it doesn't benefit us because we're so afraid of stepping outside of the culture. I guess because, a lot of expert researchers say, we're tribal people. We are tribal. We need the tribe to survive. And so we learn very quickly what tribe we can belong to, where can we get in, and how do we stay there? Even if it's hurting us, though. That's a crazy thing. All right, let's move on because I've got a great story for you about Tucker Carlson had a guest on that I want to share with you. Let's just go straight to the clip. This is Tucker's latest guess.
What was the effect of the opioids on your spirit?
Oh, I'm sorry. You keep trying to get me to answer
No,
that.
not at all. I just think it's interesting, and I rarely hear people talk about it. There's a lot of talk about the effect of opioids on your respiratory system. Does Narcan work? I think it's all important, and I'm not mocking it. However, the condition of your spirit may be more important than anything, and I never hear that discussed.
Yeah, well, you're not the same person. And that's what I mean with like bringing things into yourself. We use euphemisms like that. Like, well, I wasn't the same guy at that period of my life. Well, think about what that actually means. Like, what do you mean you weren't the same guy? If you believe in body, soul, spirit, or body, soul, mind, however you want to think of it, what do you mean when you say you were not the same person? Because did your soul leave and go somewhere else? What do you actually mean? And I think what you mean is that you have given the control of you over to someone or something else. I mean, that's the way I view it. And that, can be wrong, and it would sound like an idiot or whatever, but that is the way that I view it.
You don't sound like an idiot at all, and you're clearly not wrong, and that's like
I love this clip because look at this guy, right? He's got his rancher's hat on. He's got a big old beard. He's got his, farm looking, cowboy looking appearance. And he's telling you about his experience. So his name is Braxton McCoy, and he's a veteran, right? He served in the military, and he was addicted to opioids at one point because of his accident. Well, it wasn't an accident. He was at war, and injured in action. And so he went on opioids for the pain because, again, this is what we do. And he became addicted to them. And he's very great in the way he articulates how those opioids made him feel. Because I've heard that I don't know how many times, right? I feel numb. I don't feel like myself. I feel like something's missing. These are all descriptive words that people use when they're on drugs, when they're on pharmaceuticals like opioids, numb, right? Whether it's SSRIs actually or pain medication. This is a common theme. So what is this doing to us? And I have to bring in the consciousness piece. This is pharmakia. What is it doing to you if you are feeling numb? If you are feeling not yourself? I wasn't myself back then. I was somebody else. That's what these drugs are doing to people. And so when we have conversations around like school shootings and things that are we allowed, well, sorry, we're not allowed to have those conversations because school shootings are directly because of guns. They are not because of these drugs that make you feel like you're not yourself. I think we need to explore more into that, what people mean when they tell you, I don't feel like myself. You're listening to Naturally Inspired Radio. Stay tuned, everybody. We'll be right back.
Did you know that a single collagen supplement could support your heart health, help protect against EMF exposure, and reduce inflammation all at the same time? Our preferred foundational collagen not only supports radiant skin and joint mobility, but also promotes heart health, reduces inflammation, strengthens hair and nails, provides added protection against the effects of EMF exposure, and so much more. Our favorite collagen is super absorbable and easy to take. Just 1 tablespoon in the morning and another in the evening for maximum benefits. Here's what our listeners have to say.
This collagen is so easy to take, I've noticed a huge difference in my hair and nails after just a few weeks.
Since I started using Tammy's preferred collagen, my joints feel more flexible and my skin looks smoother.
Try it today at naturallyinspiredradio.com/collagen. When you purchase from Naturally Inspired, you get access to our group health coaching call and so much more. Go to naturallyinspiredradio.com/collagen. Did you know that medicinal mushrooms are excellent for pets? Take our preferred pet health products for joint health, skin health, antioxidant protection, sow health, anti-aging benefits, gut health, liver support, cholesterol regulation, blood pressure support, brain health, anxiety relief, respiratory health, endurance and strength, anti-fatigue, and much more. Available in easy-to-take treats, great-tasting gravy, and our pet food blends.
Since adding mushroom dog food to my dog's diet, I've noticed a huge improvement in his energy and coat health. He's like a puppy again, even at 10 years old.
After starting my care on mushroom super sauce, her immune health and digestion have noticeably improved. She's more playful, and her fur has never looked shinier.
Learn how to get free shipping and how to join our monthly mushroom call. Text Tammy with questions or to order at 720-303-8868. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com/mushroom. That's naturallyinspiredradio.com/mushroom.
Are you ready to stay informed and inspired 24/7? Tune in to Naturally Inspired Radio anytime, anywhere. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com, or for the best mobile experience, download the Simple Radio app. Search for Naturally Inspired Radio, save it to your favorites, and click on the graphic to listen instantly. Catch live broadcasts, revisit past shows, dive into long-form podcast conversations, and discover rare, censored presentations by leading health experts. Plus, explore documentaries uncovering the hidden truths of occult and esoteric history. Stay connected, stay inspired. Naturally Inspired Radio is always at your fingertips. Tune in now. For health questions or comments, text Tammy directly at 720-303-8868. naturallyinspiredradio.com.
I was skeptical, but after just 3 weeks, my knee pain went away and people started complimenting me on my skin. I'm never going without this stuff again. That's from Amy. She's talking, of course, about our low molecular weight liquid collagen. Because did you know that by around the age 25, even younger, your natural collagen production starts to drop off dramatically. And that's why supplementing with a high quality liquid collagen can be a total game changer. That's why I do it. I use the low molecular weight collagen because it's easily absorbed. I had used powders before in the past, and honestly, I didn't see a lot of results. I would see a lot of health influencers and research papers on collagen and how important it is to supplement. And I thought, okay, cool. Like I'm covering my bases. I'm taking it. But I truly didn't understand what it was doing for people because I just simply wasn't experiencing those results. And it was when I started taking the low molecular weight liquid collagen that I understood, because I had been dealing with chronic neck stiffness, stiffness in my hips, and other things that nothing, changed them. And then I started taking this liquid, low molecular weight collagen, and all of a sudden I had more range of motion in my neck. All of a sudden, my hips were less stiff. And I noticed a decrease in even cellulite and even other skin improvement, with elasticity and whatnot. And after having 2 kids, nursing them both, you know what I'm talking about here. There was improvements. And I just thought, wow, this stuff really works. And that's why I brought it to you, to this audience, because I only bring stuff that I use myself and that I know works. So if all of that sounds good to you, you should try the collagen, because mobility is king when it comes to independence and preserving quality of life. So go to naturallyinspiredstore.com today. Just click on the collagen, or you can text me if you have questions, 720-303-8868. You will not be sorry that you started on this product. Let me tell you, it is quite a game changer. And Amy agrees. Thank you, Amy, for sending me that testimonial. I appreciate it. And if you have a testimonial, I got another one too that I'm going to share probably tomorrow. Send them to me. Send them to me, because if we can save people from going on pain medication, destroying their health, from other sources that they think is a solution, that's the goal here, right? To connect people to better health solutions, to real health solutions, and change the culture of health in our country. Okay, so just some interesting stuff there when you think about it, right? When you think about people talking about opioids, and man, I can see it in people. You ever known anybody, that is taking pain medication or even is an addict? You can see it in their eyes that they're not home. They're not home. I worked in family services for a few years, and we dealt with sending people to rehabilitation and whatnot on a regular basis. And I've looked into many people's eyes that were addicts, and there's definitely, you can see there's something missing. And so this term of I didn't feel like myself, I don't think should be ignored. And there's something, I just wanted to bring this up. Pharmakia, this word, comes from the Bible, and it's a root. It's a Greek root word of pharmakon. It means drug, potion, or poison. In biblical usage, pharmakia refers to the use of administration of drugs, often in the context of magic and enchantment or occult practices. It lists pharmakia sorcery as a work of the flesh. Warn of judgment upon those who practice pharmakia, associating it with deception and spiritual rebellion. We say these things in life, I don't feel like myself, or, whatever people, how they describe it. Numbness is another one, right? I feel numb. I couldn't feel my emotions. It's just got to wonder what that really means, because it's not one person saying it. It's many, many people saying it. And yet we've normalized pharmakia to the point where, it's placed into our media. It's placed into art. There's been many shows, movies I've watched through the years where they have woven in the use of antidepressants or pain medication into the storyline. Just, that's part of normalizing something. That's part of why people have assumed knowledge on things. Like everybody's on a medication. That's part of the reason why, because it's woven into our culture, into books, into art, into, and you see it everywhere. You can't escape the pharmaceutical commercials. You cannot escape them. So something to consider how, culture gets shaped around that. And then listening for feedback. And the feedback is, I didn't feel like myself. I feel numb. How is this helping? It's not even getting to root cause. Giving up a lot there. I'm not even sure we I've even articulated all that we're giving up when we go on these medications. Let's move on to the next story because this one's a big one. I've talked a lot about neural pathways, right? And your brain and patterns and why that works, how it works, and how we can, work to build new ones for different results. And this was just a fascinating video to me. So let's take a look at it here real quick. This is what I would call a technology addicted child. Watch.
Scary, right? Now watch this.
There are certain what we call critical periods of right or social emotional brain development. One is 0 to 3, and it's the most important because what's happening is something called neurogenesis. So it's the growth of cells.
Let's emphasize how big that growth is. This is the brain across a lifetime. See those first years? It triples in size. Now pay attention to this bit.
Is critical to them growing that right brain because 85% of the right brain is developed by 3. Crazy, right? 85%.
Everything your child needs to cope without a screen, that's regulating emotions, dealing with boredom, coming up with things to do, playing imaginary games, visualizing during reading and storytelling, creativity, curiosity, feeling content, all of that comes from the right brain. So giving them regular screen time, including educational content during that period, is like training the hamster for the wheel when it should really be learning to explore.
Oh, I love the way this is explained because that's exactly it. So, when we put our kids in front of a screen, they are, again, just intaking, right? They've got inputs being thrown on them. And then the brain has to deal with that. It has to process it. And it's not in a kinesthetic way. It's in a mental way. And it's shocking to realize that 85% of the right brain, that's your emotional intelligence, your right brain, is developed 0 to 3. So imagine you have this kid that's just, and you see it in the grocery store, you see it in car seats, put TVs in the back of car seats. I don't even think they have TVs anymore because so many kids just have an iPad from birth. And this is the way we're learning. It's passive learning, looking at something, right? And so you can understand why kids are having a hard time emotionally. There's no output. It's like a hamster on a wheel, right? Just a program without any output. When your kid is living life and having to navigate the terrain of life, both the physical terrain of life and the emotional terrain of life. Hey, that kid stole my toy. That's terrain. They're learning how to be a human. When they're in front of a screen, they're watching how to be a human. They're observing humans. They're not actually living the human experience. And those are two totally different things. Two totally different things. That right there that you saw, the screaming, that's pure, straight up addiction. Children addicted to the dopamine fix of a screen. You're listening to Naturally Inspired Radio. Stay tuned. We'll be right back after this quick break.
Did you know that a single collagen supplement could support your heart health, help protect against EMF exposure, and reduce inflammation all at the same time? Our preferred foundational collagen not only supports radiant skin and joint mobility, but also promotes heart health, reduces inflammation, strengthens hair and nails, provides added protection against the effects of EMF exposure, and so much more. Our favorite collagen is super absorbable and easy to take. Just 1 tablespoon in the morning and another in the evening for maximum benefits. Here's what our listeners have to say.
This collagen is so easy to take, I've noticed a huge difference in my hair and nails after just a few weeks.
Since I started using Tammy's preferred collagen, my joints feel more flexible and my skin looks smoother.
Try it today at naturalinspiredradio.com/collagen. When you purchase from Naturally Inspired, you get access to our group health coaching call and so much more. Go to naturalinspiredradio.com/collagen. Did you know that medicinal mushrooms are excellent for pets? Take our preferred pet health products for joint health, skin health, antioxidant protection, sow health, anti-aging benefits, gut health, liver support, cholesterol regulation, blood pressure support, brain health, anxiety relief, respiratory health, endurance and strength, anti-fatigue, and much more. Available in easy-to-take treats, great-tasting gravy, and our pet food blends.
Since adding mushroom dog food to my dog's diet, I've noticed a huge improvement in his energy and coat health. He's like a puppy again, even at 10 years old.
After starting my care on mushroom super sauce, her immune health and digestion have noticeably improved. She's more playful, and her fur has never looked shinier.
Learn how to get free shipping and how to join our monthly mushroom call. Text Tammy with questions or to order at 720-303-8868. Visit naturalinspiredradio.com/mushroom. That's naturalinspiredradio.com/mushroom.
Are you ready to stay informed and inspired 24/7? Tune in to Naturally Inspired Radio anytime, anywhere. Visit naturalinspiredradio.com, or for the best mobile experience, download the Simple Radio app. Search for Naturally Inspired Radio, save it to your favorites, and click on the graphic to listen instantly. Catch live broadcasts, revisit past shows, dive into long-form podcast conversations, and discover rare, censored presentations by leading health experts. Plus, explore documentaries uncovering the hidden truths of occult and esoteric history. Stay connected, stay inspired. Naturally Inspired Radio is always at your fingertips. Tune in now. For health questions or comments, text Tammy directly at 720-303-8868. naturalinspiredradio.com.
We're back. You're listening to Naturally Inspired Radio. I'm so glad you're here today. We were just kind of talking about this addiction, how technology is actually an addiction, right? There's a certain feeling, a certain state that is being created, especially these little people, 0 to 3 years old, being plugged into technology, to a screen. It is forming 85% of their right brain is formed 0 to 3 years old. And emotionally, their emotions are being formed by a screen, the things they're watching, not living. And that's very interesting, because isn't that just setting the stage? Isn't that just priming the pump for these young people to have their consciousness completely swallowed up by the algorithms, right? Being sucked into technology to the point where they don't know how to think, because all their thinking has been done for them. They've just been observing it. They've been observing human life through a screen and not actually living it. And of course, there's a huge contrast to that. Huge contrast to watching humans live and living as a human. I don't know about you, but when I get online and I watch humans live, they all are pretty beautiful online. You know what I mean? They have these monster lips and this great skin and this perfect hair, and they're got the perfect body and all the great clothes and the clean kitchens. That one really gets me. How does everybody have such a dang clean kitchen? My kitchen is almost never clean because I'm always cooking in it, But somehow everybody on Instagram has a perfectly clean kitchen. And so, that's the difference, right? In reality, we don't always get our dishes done. But on Instagram, dishes are always done. And so there's this, really weird, there's two things happening here, right? There's a world online, the virtual reality, and then there's reality. But we are letting our children be programmed by virtual reality. And then we're asking why they're dysfunctional in reality. And let me tell you this, you know what's crazy? You know what's crazy? This is crazy. That kid throwing a fit is addicted to technology, addicted to the feeling that she gets from watching videos online, from watching life online, okay? If you take that kid to a doctor, I bet you anything they're going to get a diagnosis. Oh, this kind of tantrum, she hit her head. She's autistic. Oh, no. Oh, maybe it's ADHD. Because this behavior is abnormal. Well, yeah, because the way you're raising that kid is abnormal. You're not letting that kid actually live life and learn how to be a human. You are programming that kid with an algorithm and watching humans behave through screen. It's totally weird. There's nothing wrong with the kid. It's the way the kid is being raised. And this is what I'm saying. Like, we have this epidemic of autism, right? And hear me clearly, because I know this really pisses people off, but like, just listen to my words here, okay? Listen to my words before you freak out. Listen to my words. There's biomedical autism, and it is awful. We're talking about 25-year-old people trapped inside themselves. They have to wear diapers, still drinking out of bottles, toe walking, arm flapping. There's biomedical autism. It comes September, we're going to find some stuff out about that. But there's also this spectrum that's been created. And I believe, this is my belief, okay? But I've read a lot of Harvard studies. I've read a lot of white papers, and I know that technology is actually changing our brains because they say so. But there's really no argument there that technology is changing our brains, the way we process information, like it's changing our brains. So there's no argument there, okay? So then why are we diagnosing children who are stuck to technology, stuck to iPads with something called autism when it's a really big difference there? You know? Is this an environmental factor? I think so. I think it's technology-induced brain dysfunction, brain disorder. I don't know what you want to call it, but their behavior has been molded differently than somebody, say, like you or I, that grew up without technology. And I don't think this needs a medical diagnosis. I think that kid needs to not see a screen for the next year of its life. That's what I think. And let's just see. Let's just see what happens, you know? Sometimes, that when I see people falling into this trap, they've been diagnosed and, ADD or whatever it is. I just drop them off at my house for like a year, or not even a year. Give me 90 days. Give me 90 days. We got some chores around here to do. You got to eat this food. You can't eat the drive-through stuff. And no, the word no will be used quite frequently, likely in the beginning. Can anyone relate with that? I watch grandparents who are like scared to tell their own kids, hey, you're not doing that right. Stop letting your kid dictate what's going on here. But nobody wants to say anything because, you don't want to step on anybody's toes. But meanwhile, who suffers? that kid. That kid is suffering because nobody wants to be around that kid because they're unpleasant. And they're unpleasant because they haven't learned how to be a real human. And that's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking because it's not the child's fault. It is the infrastructure we have going here. It's not working. Here's another thing that's not working. Let's go straight to this clip. This is about pediatricians. You don't believe me? Right from the facts here. This is Brian Hooker in Ron Johnson's panel. Take a listen.
What is the truth? Because I hear back and forth. I mean, do pediatricians get incentivized with percent vaccination of their?
Yes. Dr. Paul Thomas has done a very good video on that, and many other pediatricians have followed. Maybe Dr. Hooker could answer better on that.
Yeah, they're typically incentivized directly by HMOs. HMOs buy and sell vaccines, so vaccines are big businesses for HMOs. But the incentivization is usually anywhere from $200 to $600 per fully vaccinated patient, as long as their vaccines, a certain percentage of their practice is fully vaccinated. So some pediatricians can make upwards to $1 million or more a year just in those incentives.
I've also heard stories of pediatricians basically firing patients because they won't get vaccinated. Because that
is correct.
We hear that story over and over again. And also the lies that the pediatrician tell us that our baby will die if we don't get vitamin K at birth. The baby will bleed out before it gets to the car. And these stories, if you don't get the HPV vaccine, then you will die of cancer. These parents have told us these stories, and they're the same over and over again. How can they get away with lying like that to us, the parents?
Okay, so like the next time somebody tells you, well, why would they do that? You know, why my doctor wouldn't do that. Your doctor's human. There's great doctors out there. I'm not discounting that there are great doctors out there. And you know, there are doctors that are just operating off of assumed knowledge. They just, assume the knowledge because they've been through medical school, and this was the knowledge they learned. Doesn't make them bad people, but it makes it absolutely necessary for you to advocate for yourself. It makes it absolutely necessary to be a critical thinker today. You must be. You must be. You can no longer function, especially in the medical field, in the medical sphere, on assumed knowledge. You will end up harmed. You're listening to Naturally Inspired Radio. When we come back, I have your health topic for you. We're going to be talking about your knees, how to take care of them. Maybe a little different perspective. You're not going to want to miss it. Stay tuned.
Did you know that a single collagen supplement could support your heart health, help protect against EMF exposure, and reduce inflammation all at the same time? Our preferred foundational collagen not only supports radiant skin and joint mobility, but also promotes heart health, reduces inflammation, strengthens hair and nails, provides added protection against the effects of EMF exposure, and so much more. Our favorite collagen is super absorbable and easy to take. Just 1 tablespoon in the morning and another in the evening for maximum benefits. Here's what our listeners have to say.
This collagen is so easy to take, I've noticed a huge difference in my hair and nails after just a few weeks.
Since I started using Tammy's preferred collagen, my joints feel more flexible and my skin looks smoother.
Try it today at naturallyinspiredradio.com/collagen. When you purchase from Naturally Inspired, you get access to our group health coaching call and so much more. Go to naturallyinspiredradio.com/collagen. Did you know that medicinal mushrooms are excellent for pets? Take our preferred pet health products for joint health, skin health, antioxidant protection, cell health, anti-aging benefits, gut health, liver support, cholesterol regulation, blood pressure support, brain health, anxiety relief, respiratory health, endurance and strength, anti-fatigue, and much more. Available in easy-to-take treats, great-tasting gravy, and our pet food blends.
Since adding mushroom dog food to my dog's diet, I've noticed a huge improvement in his energy and coat health. He's like a puppy again, even at 10 years old.
After starting my care on mushroom super sauce, her immune health and digestion have noticeably improved. She's more playful, and her fur has never looked shinier.
Learn how to get free shipping and how to join our monthly mushroom call. Text Tammy with questions or to order at 720-303-8868. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com/mushroom. That's naturallyinspiredradio.com/mushroom.
Are you ready to stay informed and inspired 24/7? Tune in to Naturally Inspired Radio anytime, anywhere. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com, or for the best mobile experience, download the Simple Radio app. Search for Naturally Inspired Radio, save it to your favorites, and click on the graphic to listen instantly. Catch live broadcasts, revisit past shows, dive into long-form podcast conversations, and discover rare, censored presentations by leading health experts. Plus, explore documentaries uncovering the hidden truths of occult and esoteric history. Stay connected, stay inspired. Naturally Inspired Radio is always at your fingertips. Tune in now. For health questions or comments, text Tammy directly at 720-303-8868. naturallyinspiredradio.com.
I want to share with you, did you know that I do a free 30-minute health assessment? So if you've been feeling frustrated with your health or you're stuck, if you have signals coming from your body and you don't know what they're trying to tell you, it's all communication. If you're stuck in prescriptions that you don't want to be taking, all of that stuff, you gotta make lifestyle changes, and you got to have a plan. I always say if you're gonna go to a doctor, then and they prescribe you something. One of the questions you should immediately say, well, what is the plan to get off of this medication? What is the plan moving forward? You got to work with your physician and let them know. Because too many times people just accept, oh, this is a lifetime of medication. I can't do anything else about it. Maybe you can. So if you're stuck in that cycle, I want to offer you a chance to book a 30-minute session with me. We'll take time together. I will listen, which I hear that a lot of people don't listen. So I will listen. I want to understand your story, and then we'll map out a personalized path to move from frustration to empowerment. We look at what you're doing physically, nutrition, emotional stuff. We visit on how you're dealing with stress. Do you have a stress practice? Because everybody should be practicing mitigating stress, right? What are you doing with it? How are you integrating it? Are you bottling it up? Because that's not good, for your health long term. So these are the types of things we talk about. So whether you're struggling with fatigue, digestion issues, chronic issues, gut issues, whatever it is, but you really want to feel like yourself again, this free session is the first step towards your transformation. So schedule the session at naturallyinspiredstore.com. It's naturallyinspiredstore.com. Or you can text me directly if you have questions, 720-303-8868. All right, let's get into our health topic for today. Today I'm talking about your knees. I get a lot of questions about knees, and there's a lot of stories around our knees where we think that, that old injury, and that is why I can't, do X, Y, or Z because of that old injury. And maybe there is, some things getting in the way in that regard, but maybe there's some things you can do to, get you moving again, to support your mobility. So, and like I said earlier, I think everybody carries that story, especially athletes. Like, oh my gosh, I don't want to tear my knee, or knee injury. Oh, because we've all heard of the people that get taken out of the game because of the knees. And so that's why I wanted to focus on this today. So here are 7 ways to protect your knee health, plus what to do if you're already dealing with knee pain. So number 1, Strengthen the muscles around your knees. I think a lot of times we don't think about this. We can get hyper focused on the injured area, and we don't think about building up the infrastructure around the area, especially with knee pain, right? You think, oh, it's the joint itself. There's nothing I can do. No, there's a lot you can do. Strong quads, hamstrings, glutes, and calves, obviously, they stabilize the knee and they absorb impact. I'm telling you, if you are not lifting weights, you need to add that in, especially if you're dealing with knee issues. So incorporating resistance training 2 to 3 times a week, focus on squats, and your squat doesn't have to look perfect. You know, I think there's a lot of like, well, I can't do squats. Well, you can't do squats if it, you know, the way it's supposed to look, but maybe you can do squats in a different position. And so play with that. Step ups are another one, hamstring curls, right? And if you have pain, just start with low impact body weight movements and, work slowly towards building up to that. Number 2 thing you can do is maintain a healthy weight. I cannot tell you how many people I have worked with that have lost weight and all that knee pain from the old injury, gone. So, when we're carrying extra weight, a lot of times it's not actually even all fat that we're carrying, but inflammation. We can carry up to 10 pounds of just inflamed tissue. And once the inflammation goes down, the scale goes down, but also a lot of things improve. And so just losing weight can give you a true sense of where you actually are with your knee health. Okay? So don't underestimate that. Eating an anti-inflammatory diet and staying active, of course, and also always prioritizing your gut health. So you want to make sure that you're supplementing as well. Give your body the support. For goodness sakes, get on the collagen. If it can't be the liquid collagen, then get on the collagen 9 that has the extra amino acids in it as well. You need collagen. You need it. You're losing it, and so if you're not supplementing with it, you're not giving yourself the optimum chance at restoring function and mobility. And it's also for prevention. It's very much for prevention. Like, I don't have any knee problems at all, but I take collagen every day, twice a day, because that's a big part of my life, being active. So I want to make sure I'm living in prevention. Use proper footwear. Don't underestimate this. Oh my goodness. I know people that have, just in the summertime, they put on their flip-flops for the first time for the year and they go a-walking. And, oh my gosh, their knees are on fire. Their shins are on fire. Their feet are on fire. Well, yeah, because walking on flip-flops is much different than walking in a full shoe, right? And so it takes an adjustment to build back up to being able to walk in flip-flops. So make sure you're practicing walking in bare feet too. We're constantly in shoes. So make sure that you're giving your feet the space. So wear shoes with arch support and cushioning, of course. I don't know. Really, the support is the big thing. Especially when you're working out. Of course, you want to protect your knees and protect your feet. If you're doing weightlifting, I used to do weightlifting barefoot until I dropped a weight on my foot. That wasn't so smart. But I try to get barefoot as much as possible and do often barefoot workouts. So number 4, stay hydrated, of course, and lubricate your joints. This matters because cartilage is mostly water. This is what I mean when I say when your fascia gets dried out because you're not hydrating and you're not supplementing with collagen, it's a real problem for your mobility. Cartilage is mostly water, so dehydration can reduce your joint lubrication. Drink, of course, you want to hydrate, right? Not just drink plain water, but make sure you're using salt, electrolytes. Also, the cellular reset is a great way to keep yourself hydrated and for inflammation. So good for inflammation. I can't stress that. I don't even know how it's working that good, but the stories are coming in and I am seeing it. It works. Number 5, stretch and mobilize daily. Why does that matter? And not just the knees, right? Like, so again, we get focused on the area that's causing us the problem. And what we really need to focus on is creating space in the body. That's what we should be focusing on. So stretching, not just the legs or just the area around the knee, but creating space in the whole body, opening it up. So stretching out daily, practicing, different positions from maybe even yoga to open up and create space. I see people, in pain and, oh, my knee. And then they're doing these exercises, there's stretches, like it's all focused on the knee. And that can create more tension and even create more inflammation on the area when we should be focusing on creating space throughout the whole body. Number 6 is reduce inflammation. Why it matters, of course, I kind of touched on this. Chronic inflammation accelerates cartilage breakdown and increases joint pain. So how do you decrease inflammation? Avoid processed foods. Avoid those seed oils. Avoid sugar. Add in omega-3s. Omega Guard is a great one. Add in turmeric. We have a turmeric product too at our store. And of course, the polyphenols from the cellular reset. So don't underestimate the power of supplementation. I know you can't do it all, but pick a path, pick a strategy, and then stick to it. Thank you so much for joining me today. This has been Naturally Inspired Radio. We are here every day, Monday through Friday, from 3 to 5 Mountain Time. And we're so glad you're here. Looking forward to seeing you tonight on the weekly wellness calls.
Are you ready to stay informed and inspired 24/7? Tune in to Naturally Inspired Radio anytime, anywhere. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com, or for the best mobile experience, download the Simple Radio app. Search for Naturally Inspired Radio. Save it to your favorites and click on the graphic to listen instantly. Catch live broadcasts, revisit past shows, dive into long-form podcast conversations, and discover rare, censored presentations by leading health experts. Plus, explore documentaries uncovering the hidden truths of occult and esoteric history. Stay connected, stay inspired. Naturally Inspired Radio is always at your fingertips. Tune in now. For health questions or comments, text Tammy directly at 720-303-8868. naturallyinspiredradio.com.
Nearly 40% of Americans struggle with a $400 emergency expense. An extra $300 a month can be the difference between stability and financial stress.
Are you feeling the pinch of rising expenses? Imagine what an extra $300, $500, or even $1,000 a month can do for you. Introducing a simple 3-step system designed to help you create a steady income without the overwhelm. Step 1, follow our easy-to-use plan. Step 2, take small, consistent actions. Step 3, stay motivated with weekly coaching designed to keep you on track and moving forward. Whether you're saving for a family vacation, paying down debt, or just looking for breathing room, this system is for you. You don't need special skills, just the desire to make change. Join a growing community of success stories today. Visit simpleincome.info or text 720-764-7448.